dealing with his faith and how does he live a righteous life while also trying to enact justice on these villains and so forth. That bugs me a lot. It's Marvel. Okay, I'm sorry. This is all pent up. I'm just letting it all out. I'll stop right there. What do you think about what I just said? Like, am I crazy?
I think you're being.
Are you tired of the endless supply of terrible storytelling? Of uninspiring, nihilistic stories that permeate most of modern-day entertainment? Are you tired of the diversity, equality, and inclusion standards that are forced upon movie creators and actors? Well, so are we. So go with us on a journey as we chronicle for you the latest news in entertainment, as we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the film industry, and as we pave a way forward to see the kingdom of Christ grow and the dragon of secularism meet its end. If you want to support us in our mission, head over to patreon.com/The Powell Bros, or follow the link in the show notes. There you will gain access to our exclusive show, The Powell Bros Mini Reviews, as well as early access to both Movie Chronicles and movie reviews. Now, on with the show.
All right, welcome to Movie Chronicles with the Powell Bros. I am one of your hosts, Tobiah Powell. I'm back as I was gone last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I might be gone again next week, but we're in production on a movie, so I'm in and out. So hopefully in a month or so, it'll be back to regular. But for now, I'm back. And yeah, I'm joined with Trent, your other host. Trent, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's been a good week. We're getting to this a little earlier than normal, which I'm fine with, and had some interesting stuff to watch today, and some other crazy news the last couple weeks. But at least even the last week since I recorded last. So excited to talk about it all.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe inform me of some of the stuff you talked about last week, so I'm not like repeating.
I talked mostly about Star Wars, so the whole Kathleen Kennedy thing, which actually I need to clarify a couple things on that. Just so I don't forget.
Some more news.
So I don't forget. So I had said that she was not stepping down as of yet, but that's not true. So she is retiring from Lucasfilm. She said either within the next couple months or within the year, she is retiring from Lucasfilm. She's training her replacement. That is happening.
Really?
She got on and did that interview in order to silence all the people that are saying, oh, she's retiring from movies. She's done. She's out the door. It's over. And she came on and said, no, I'm not retiring from movies. I'm still going to make movies until I die. I'm just stepping away from Star Wars, but I'm still going to be involved in these next projects coming out with the Rey movie and the Grogu Mandalorian movie. I'm still a producer on those. And I'm going to hire my successor. So she's involved in training up whoever's taking her place. So that's kind of clarify it. Like, she is retiring, but we're just going to get a Kathleen Kennedy 2.0.
Yeah, she's training up someone. That's not very helpful.
Nope. Continue to watch the fall of Star
interesting.
Wars.
Yeah. So she's kind of picking who's replacing her?
That's what it seems like. I don't know if that's actually true or if that's her just trying to save face and say that, my replacement.
Probably just her, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's probably whoever. No, I'm sure Disney's picking. I don't think she would have any say in that.
I disagree. I think she has too much power.
I mean,
that we don't know.
They're probably gonna pick some. They're probably gonna pick someone, and then she's gonna, train them.
Maybe. I'm more pessimistic about it. I genuinely think she has already picked someone, and she's already training them up, and she's like, hey, Disney, this is who you're gonna go with. And I don't think Disney's gonna argue with her because.
Do you think it's the Acolyte lady?
No, that's not happening. that no, they canceled her show for a reason. That like they're at least that smart.
Yeah,
So,
I guess so.
I there's some young up and coming female executive or future female or females that are future executives that she's probably training up. I know there's at least one that's been involved in Lucasfilm. I don't remember her name as like a producer or something. It's probably going to be, or it's Dave Filoni, which is just another woman as well. So who knows?
Okay, so you didn't talk about the Shrek 5 teaser at all?
Oh, so you didn't listen to her?
Not yet.
So I had Rebecca come on. I don't know if I told you that. I think I told you this. And
you said you were going to, but I haven't.
The two of us,
because I just got back,
and
then I got the movie review out on time, luckily.
Right.
So this one's going to be kind of a special release at some point because I just was not able to edit it.
Okay. Yeah. So Rebecca and I talked about the teaser. I would. We gave our opinions. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I mean, I do want to talk about Daredevil, and I have a lot to say. So I don't want to. I mean,
we can just talk about it for a minute. I can just I'll just give my opinion, and then we can move on.
Yeah. So what do you think?
It's awful. It is so horrible. I hate everything about it. Every time I look at it, I just want to vomit.
Oh, that bad?
Yeah, it's that bad. Like there's a line between advancing in technology and completely changing how your characters look.
Yeah,
they completely changed every single one of them, and they all look horrible. Shrek is actually the least bad out of all of them.
Really? Okay. I mean,
Fiona looks horrible. Well, Donkey looks horrible. Even Pinocchio looks horrible.
Pinocchio? I didn't even notice he looked different, but okay. Well, okay.
But
what? So
yeah.
I have a different side of this because I was expecting it to be worse. Because so I just set my expectations too low for it because I was expecting them to completely change the animation like they did with Puss in Boots, which they did to an extent, but they didn't go as far as I thought they would. But it is kind of continuing the animation of Puss in Boots to some extent. I don't know why they changed the looks. I do think Shrek and Fiona look older. They're older parents. They've lived longer lives, so they're going to look different. I wasn't expecting a copy and paste, but it looks odd. Also, though, the movie doesn't come out until December 2026. This is they just started production on this.
Right.
Is it too early to judge? I don't know. Why did they release that? I think it's just because they wanted to create conversation and put the kind of test the waters, see what people thought about it. They got absolutely destroyed. The video got ratioed on YouTube. People are memeing it to death, but honestly, it's probably what they wanted.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't know. I'm not one to judge this early, but it is bad. I will agree. It's not Shrek.
I mean, I agree. I think there's going to be changes. It's not their final look. It is far from now, but I'm just talking about what they released looks horrible. That's all my opinion is.
What do you think about them
before we get into
race swapping their daughter?
So, race swap because she's a black actress?
Yeah. They're white. Shrek and Fiona are very clearly white. They had a black daughter.
True.
Anyways. That's my biggest complaint. My biggest complaint is the Zendaya thing. I think that overshadowed everything else for me. It's this is retarded.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
So,
did you see that Spider-Man 4 is now looking to be a direct sequel from Avengers Doomsday? So it's it's going to be a cross between the two Avengers films.
I did not see that.
Comic Book Review posted it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 4 is apparently going to be a bridge between the two Avengers films coming out, and it'll be a direct sequel from Doomsday.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Pretty horrible. I mean, that's dumb.
I mean,
everybody's sick of him being so connected to the MCU with all these characters.
Right.
And what do? They make him a direct sequel to an Avengers movie.
Right.
I hope it's wrong. I hope it's bad information, but something I heard.
Yeah, who knows? I don't think we're gonna get the grounded Spider-Man that we are hoping for.
No, I don't think so.
And if you're okay with segueing into a grounded superhero, so you have watched the first 2 episodes of Daredevil: Born Again?
Yep, 4 minutes after it was released, I started watching.
Awesome. I was too busy watching Trump destroy the Democrats, but
yeah,
I did watch it today. I've been chewing on it for the last 3 hours. Tobiah, I want to hear your thoughts. Initial thoughts, finishing after watching it, after sleeping on it. Where are you at?
Yeah. So far, we should also just say there's a spoiler warning.
Yeah, spoiler.
We're going to talk spoilers.
If you haven't seen it by the time this is released, if you're listening live on Spaces on X, which we are now doing,
yep,
which no one is except for my wife. So what do you think?
I didn't have really many problems with it. I mean, I've enjoyed it so far. I do feel like more in the first episode than the second. I can feel some of the rewrites. Some of the things felt like how rewritten shows feel. Even in more in the first episode than the second episode, I also felt some of that, like, oh, this is an MCU show, but like, it was mostly with the sets and the production quality that I felt that. But I mean, I didn't really have many problems with that. I mean, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah. The twist was pretty heartbreaking.
Did you know? You didn't know it was coming?
No, you did?
I've heard it's been rumored for the last 6 months that was going to happen, and
interesting.
Yeah. And I now understand why, and I'll tell you in a minute. I was expecting. I didn't expect it in the first 5 minutes of the show. So spoilers, everyone. Foggy Nelson comes back in all his glory, and then is killed off by Bullseye in the first 5-10 minutes of the show. So he dead.
Yeah,
it was pretty heartbreaking when you had Matt Murdock listening to his heartbeat, and when I started hearing Foggy's heartbeat, I was like, he's gonna hear his heartbeat. He's gonna hear his heartbeat stop, and that's gonna suck. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your thoughts of that? I don't know. What do you think?
It's an interesting choice. I mean, honestly, so far it's kind of worked. It's setting a real struggle in Matt. I mean, right after that, he went full vengeance and attempted to kill Bullseye, which is pretty far for him.
Throw him off a building.
Yeah, it was ridiculous that he survived. That was dumb. But
what did he survive in the last one? Because didn't he have a spinal surgery or spine broke or something?
Yeah.
What? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember what happened with him.
It was something like that. Yeah. I think he got maybe shot or something. Or maybe he fell from. I think he fell from something.
I mean, I don't know.
But anyway, it's like still like seeing him like try to kill someone, and then now there's a bit of a struggle with that, and there's definitely some courtroom drama in this show.
Yeah.
Which has been fine. It's not like too much because the show hasn't been a courtroom drama show.
And this was supposed to be like the whole thing was a court drama.
Yeah.
So I do like that they've taken the more grittier tone, including in having these court drama issues. Stuff throughout, and apparently it's going to continue. And there's like another big court case, but yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Matt's kind of holding on to that one horn. He's not wanting to put the suit back on, but he's still being kind of protective of these guys that were involved, and
he's determined to put Bullseye away for life. Like he testifies and everything, and he gets and then Bullseye gets convicted. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens with that.
Yep. And then Kingpin is mayor, and I mean it's setting up for a pretty fun show. I'm excited to see where it goes. Yeah.
Awesome.
What are your thoughts?
Well, like a lot of things, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on a lot of what you just said. I don't know if it's just me becoming more cynical about TV shows. I don't know if it's me watching the original Daredevil show and then watching this. I did not like it. I had so many issues with it for a lot of reasons. Okay, let's start with the first scene. Okay, what did you think of the whole opening fight that where we're following? They're doing the one shot fight scene like they did the hallway scene in the first season of Daredevil. How do you think that was done overall?
As all right, I guess. It wasn't like any of the original ones that they did in the other seasons.
Yeah.
A lot less choreography and yeah.
Well, it was weird. Like it looked like most of the fighting was CGI, and I didn't understand that. Like, why would you do CGI when you're doing this one take shot? You're going into the bar, you're going out the bar, back and then up to the roof. Like I thought that was like the camera work and the whole concept was great. I loved it. But when Daredevil's fighting Bullseye, it just looked like every movie he was doing was CGI'd, and I don't know if it was just like that weird Marvel-esque effect or what, but it just didn't feel grounded. Like I want with my Daredevil, and then you have him swinging around like Spider-Man, which is a Daredevil thing. I get it, but it was just you could just feel you just knew from the first scene like this is a Marvel show. This is not the Daredevil show of old. Though we're going to give you glimpses, we're going to give you member berries, we're going to give you these little things to remember that show. But this is a Marvel show. It had that weird like Marvel tone to it, I guess, that I'm fine with in a Marvel show, but I came for a continuation of the Daredevil show. I was promised a continuation of the Daredevil show. I think they brought Foggy and Karen in because originally they weren't in the show. Like originally when they filmed this, they were not in the show. I think they brought them back for a couple scenes and then took them out of the show. They killed Foggy off, and then Karen goes off to San Francisco. I don't know, but I'm assuming we're not going to see Karen. Maybe we'll see her towards the end for like one more cameo, but I don't think she's in the show. And we were promised Foggy and Karen, they were going to be in the show. They're not. Why they killed Foggy, I think it's just propel his character forward, but why in the world did they do a year time jump? They kill him off, and then we're like, oh, well, instead of watching Daredevil work through and process this grief and this and of losing a friend, we're going to jump ahead a year to Bullseye's court case, and then we're going to have him, make some comments about not being Daredevil and have this, this pull towards vigilanteism again. He's going to walk around and see people getting hurt, like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, and he's not going to go help. He's going to let it happen, and then he has a struggle, and then he gets pulled into this court case and is compelled, and then he's pretty much forced to become Daredevil again when those two thugs that have a Punisher tattoo, I don't know what the heck that's going to be about, Punisher tattoo on his arm, they're gonna kill him, but it says he's like, no, don't do it. And I know he's saying not just to them don't do it, but he's telling him to himself, like, don't do it, don't give in to it, don't become the devil again. But he does, and then he beats the guys up, pretty much probably kills them. I don't know. He's killing people now, but you have that whole thing, and then now after 2 episodes he's back to being Daredevil. So he's been born again all of a sudden. And I just feel like even with Foggy's death, I feel like it wasn't earned. They were like, hey, here's this guy you all like. Well, we're going to kill him just to create the shock and awe. And then we're going to jump ahead a year and not show you Daredevil's progress and how he processes the grief, and then start the show from there. And then all of a sudden Daredevil decides to become Daredevil again, which I also think wasn't very
When did he decide?
When he was when he was protecting the guy from the subway that got beat up. He went to his apartment. And he's like, hey, you wait, you saw the second episode, right?
Yeah, but
okay.
He didn't become Daredevil. Like, he just beat up those guys to protect them.
Right. He
hated. He hated that he did it. Okay. So he hasn't become Daredevil again.
Yes, but you have the scene before where he's walking by the church and he hears the sermon in his head. From a story standpoint, he's being born again in that moment. I could be wrong. Maybe my guess is episode 3 we're going to see him in the suit. Maybe I'm wrong, but another thing, the religious themes are almost not present. There's like 1 or 2 references to the fact that he's a Catholic. That's it. I don't like that at all. Maybe it'll change. I heard that it doesn't change. I heard that continues throughout the show, that the religious themes are completely absent from his character, which is ridiculous because it's Daredevil. You have to have his faith. You have to have the religious aspect to his character for it to make sense, for his character to grow and struggle, because he's dealing with his faith and how does he live a righteous life while also trying to enact justice on these villains and so forth. That bugs me a lot. It's Marvel. Okay. I'm sorry. This is all pent up. I'm just letting it all out. I'll stop right there. What do you think about what I just said? Like, am I crazy?
I think you're being a little too critical.
But you know why? Because I will say this.
Well, we knew it. Yeah, I mean,
this is
we
the
knew
best Disney Plus show we've got.
Yeah,
I will agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's, but I also don't think it hasn't been a bad show. Like, this is a bad show. Like,
well, I have a whole list of other things that I have issues with. So we'll get to it, because I do think it's a bad show. At least from the first 2 episodes.
Well, then you're definitely being hypercritical if you're thinking it's a bad show based on those 2 episodes. Like, that's ridiculous.
It's the start of a season.
It's definitely
like,
not
it has
a
to
bad
hook me.
show.
I'm
hooked. I'm excited for the
the
next episode. I want to see like what happens with Daredevil. Like,
so do I.
He is struggling still. He's not sure what he's gonna do. I don't think he's been born again yet.
Okay. That's interesting. I did not see it that way. So you might be right.
The Punisher tattoos, that's definitely showing that, like, a lot of these corrupt cops have kind of taken on the image of the Punisher.
Okay.
And so they're going to be, there's going to be some issues with the Punisher, with those people doing that and kind of corrupting his image. Because they're taking it as like, like, we can be bad guys and use that symbol as us being bad.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
So they misinterpreted his symbolism. And yeah, I guess there hasn't been much Catholicism involved, which I mean, I guess, but I don't know that would totally ruin it for me. I didn't notice any bad CGI. I didn't think anything looked
really
that terrible.
it was just that first scene. It just bugged me.
So one thing I saw, I don't know if you noticed it in that first scene. It wasn't when they were fighting. I don't think they were ever fighting, but Bullseye, he had like a halo or like silhouette lines coming from his body.
Really?
I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't know.
Which that's the only thing I noticed. I was like, oh, that looks weird. I was like, oh, but I think that's purposeful. I don't think it could have been on accident. Because it was quite visible.
Purposeful in what way?
I think it was when he was like kind of knocked down. It was because I think it was like kind of showing like his senses or whatever his powers are.
Oh, sure, yeah,
kind of being harmed.
Like Daredevil's.
So I guess that could have made it. No, not Daredevil. It was Bullseye.
No, what do you mean his senses being harmed?
Well, it's because when it was after Daredevil had beaten him up quite a bit.
Okay.
So that could have made you think that it looked bad, but that was
it was Daredevil's fighting. Like it I don't know, maybe go back and watch it. It looked like the whole, like his moves and everything, like I think it was a reshoot for one. Cuz they're like because that was completely that was from the first season as far as like the one shot fight scene. Like I don't think that was included in the original show. So I think that was completely reshot, and I just feel like maybe there was a lot of things they couldn't do practically, so they had to CGI him. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, but it took me out of the show, and I wanted it to be grounded. I wanted to be locked in. Now the rest of it was fine. Like there wasn't much fighting after that, but the CGI was fine. That was just that one scene that it just took me out from the beginning, and I think it set me off for the rest of it. And then there was a lot of things I noticed throughout the show with other characters that bugged the heck out of me.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything.
Okay, that's fine. And like, yes, this is the beginning of a season. I get it. I'm hoping it gets better, and I'm completely wrong on what I'm saying. Let's get to Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. How do you think his character was handled?
I don't like that he's skinny. I really don't like it.
Well, yeah, that was weird. Like they made the comment. Daredevil made the comment that
he was huge in Hawkeye, like just huge, and then all of a sudden he's really skinny.
Do you remember that Echo show?
Echo, yeah. I think he was pretty big in Echo, right?
Yeah, he was.
Was he pretty big in Echo? Okay.
And they made sure to remind us over and over again about Echo, which also bugged me.
What do you mean?
He kept making reference to the girl that he trained up and that shot him in the eye. There was like 4 or 5 references to that.
I thought he only referenced it like once.
He referenced it to Daredevil. He referenced it to his wife. He referenced it another time to one of his people. And there was multiple references back to Echo that drove me nuts.
I don't know. Anyway,
he got beat up by a disabled woman with one leg and was deaf.
Yeah, I didn't like that he was skinny. That definitely bothered me.
Did you catch that Daredevil
was bigger?
Or Matt Murdock said to him, like, I see you've lost weight, but you've been working out.
Yeah.
So he's buff, but he's not bulky. He's not as intimidating.
Yeah. He said he's lost weight, but he's gained muscle. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. Other than that, his character seems kind of off. I kind of feel like it's some of the acting. Like, I feel like Vincent D'Onofrio is less interested in the character. Maybe because maybe there was a lot of reshoots for him and he just wasn't interested in that.
Yeah. Well, do you know the backstory? So him and Charlie Cox went to the producers or Kevin Feige or someone and said, "Hey, this is not working. Like, they knew that the show was going in the wrong direction, and they were part of the reason why they scrapped it and started over.
Right. Yeah, so I feel like there's a bit with him there. Probably a lot of frustration with the producers and stuff that's just kind of seeping into his character, which definitely happens when there's a lot of drama behind the scenes with shows, movies, whatever. You can kind of see it with the actors that are having the drama. So yeah, I'm not as much of a fan of him in this as I was. I wish they would have used like a bodysuit or something to make him big.
Right. Like I think that's what they did for Echo and Hawkeye.
Yeah. I think they might have done CGI in those, but
maybe.
But yeah, I mean, CGI, bodysuit, something like bodysuit. It's not like it's under a suit, so like there's no money involved. Like just throw something under him. Yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that. Yeah, so that's kind of frustrating, but yeah.
See, like once again, I disagree. I think that his acting was actually fine, but I think what you're seeing, is bad writing, and maybe bad directing, because
maybe
what's off with his character is he's still a broken, weak man. Like he is trying to. He's trying to be good, but he's still bad. Like he still has that rage in him. Okay, of course, like the whole the subtitle for the show is what, like the devil within, I think. So both characters, they're struggling with the devil within, like trying to fight against, try not to let their inner demons out, like with Daredevil and him killing Bullseye, or trying to kill Bullseye, and then kind of throughout those 2 episodes trying to not be Daredevil. Kingpin, he's trying to be good so that he could be mayor and build up power. But my issue with him is his wife. I don't remember. Do you remember what happened at the end of season 3 with him and Vanessa? Like, why are they distant in this show?
I think it's behind the scenes, something we haven't seen.
Right.
I think is because, I mean, he would have gotten arrested, so he would have been in jail or something.
Right.
Daredevil was beating him up in his penthouse saying, "I beat you." And something there probably, and she's just holding it against him or something, because he lost, maybe.
Right. And what does she make clear to him? She says, "While you were gone, I ran your business, and I ran it better than it ever has been run before." Mm-hmm. Every other woman.
It is the writing. It's that he is being an effeminate character. He's not being the big scary head boss that he was. So yeah, I guess it wouldn't be his acting, because he couldn't act like a big scary head boss if that's not where the story is and how they wrote it. So yeah, I guess I would agree with that.
Yep. And so his wife is cheating on him, and it's his fault, and so they have to go to therapy. I think that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in a superhero TV project or anything ever. That was the terrible way to take the character. And her, like every other woman in this show, has to tell all the men what's up, how things are done, how things are going to be, and all the men have to fall in line and listen to the women.
I didn't catch that she was cheating on him. I didn't see.
Yeah,
that.
he said when they're on the rooftop, right after he was elected, he says, "I know about Adam." And obviously we don't know who Adam is.
Catch that.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't catch that she was cheating on him.
Yeah, she's cheating on him. She left him. Okay. She's cheating on him, and it's his fault.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which, sure, it's if he's not being a faithful, a good husband, if he's not being a man, yeah. It does fall on him in some aspects.
Will Smith and his wife.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It just infuriated me. Like, why in the world did they take I was not expecting. I mean, I had way too high expectations. I went into the show, I told Rebecca before I watched the show, I was like, I've never been this excited about a Disney Plus show like Star Wars, Disney, or Marvel, or anything for a while. I was like, man, I'm actually excited about this. Like, I think this is gonna be really good. And I set my expectations too high, maybe because and maybe they go in a better direction. But dude, I'm not happy with where things are at.
Well, I mean, at least it's the villains that are acting effeminate and having cheating issues, and at least it's not the hero.
Yes, but I guess I don't know. Well, I don't know. Like, you're still dealing with Matt Murdock and his insecurities about being Daredevil. I don't know.
Well, it's because his best friend just died
a year
more or less
before.
because of
if
who
they
he
would,
was.
that's why I hate the year time jump. That was another thing. I was like, why?
Yeah.
There's no point in doing that.
I don't think you need to get stuck up on that. I mean, just ignore it if you want. If you don't like it, just ignore it. But then, it's something like that you can just ignore.
I get it. I get it. This is what Marvel and Lucasfilm are doing to all their characters. They're deconstructing them. What we have at the end of Daredevil season 3 is that this trio is back together. They've resolved all their differences. They're starting their own law firm and moving forward with life. He's wrestled with how to be Daredevil, how to do the right thing, how to how to fight against the inner rage and urge. We've already dealt with all this in the original show. That's why I think the worst thing for this show is the first 3 seasons of Daredevil. If this was its own thing and they started from scratch, it would be better. But you're living under the shadows of probably the greatest superhero project of all time, and that's a problem. But they deconstructed all these characters. Matt Murdock and Karen had a relationship that was building for 3 seasons, and they finally got together. If I'm not mistaken, at the end of season 3, season 3, Foggy dies. Karen goes off to San Francisco for whatever reason.
Yeah. And he's with some other girl.
And then he falls in love with someone else after everything that happened to She-Hulk and stuff. But apparently the writers disregarded that, so I'm happy about that. But
yeah. What other issues did you have?
Like I said, all the other female characters, the woman that is running that ran Fisk's campaign, and she was like an advisor to him. She was constantly telling him that he needs to do this and this instead of this, and he was just trying to please her and make sure he was. I mean, from a political standpoint, fine, it makes sense. You need someone that's advising you.
He actually,
and so forth.
Well, he actually went against her all the time. She was constantly annoyed with him.
But
I'm thinking of the instance in the car where she's like, "No, don't get out," and he gets out.
But then he's like, "Is this the spectacle that you wanted?" And I don't know.
Oh, did you feel like this is something I noticed? Did Kingpin remind you of anybody?
Yep. That is the second thing on my list that I haven't gotten to. This is Donald Trump.
Yeah,
this is 100% Trump, and apparently the references get worse. Like
really?
it gets worse.
Yeah, I mean it was 100% Donald Trump.
I hate. I mean,
he even hires a young advisor to adhere to the millennials.
Yep, he hires Elon Musk and big balls.
I was referring to his son that he listens to. Adhere to the millennials,
right?
Because he hires the kid to do that.
But dude, is okay. Keep going.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what really upset me was after he won the campaign and became mayor, what happens? Well, you see Daredevil walking the streets of New York, and you hear angry mobs, people cheering like Fisk is, Fisk, like we're all for this guy. He's the best. He's the greatest. And then they all break into a fight. Okay, so the angry MAGA mob is fighting and raging, and and whatnot. And then what do you have? You have Daredevil walking down the streets, and you have the clever little lighting where the red is shining on one half of his face because he's Daredevil. And
I thought that was because of him being Daredevil, but I
well,
guess
it is
could be related to
the red. I'm not talking about like politically. I do the red was for the Daredevil, but it was showing that like you have all these crazy MAGA supporters. Fisk supporters, and he's gonna go deal with it. He's gonna put an end to this. He won't stand for this anymore.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing that really reminded me was when he was with when he ignored the lady in the car, got out and dealt with the pothole, and he's like, what you need are guys who get things done, and
fill this hole.
That's exactly what Trump does, and that's that's what he says about himself is I get things done.
Yep.
And
you're gonna fill this hole right now. What?
And it's just a pothole. Like
it was a huge. No, it wasn't just a pothole. It was a whole like a crater in the ground. What the heck?
Yeah.
They can't just fill it right then and there. Like I mean, maybe they can. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know. They didn't even tell us how it went there.
Yeah.
But I thought but that was the point of the scene was they're like, hey, what can we do to make it so that he just gets something done?
I know.
Just like Trump does.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's what they did.
Right.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
I don't know. I just had too high of expectations. Maybe it gets better. I hope it gets better.
Yeah.
Also, white cops are bad as usual, and you have the minorities that are getting beat up by the cops, or at least one minority, the White Tiger dude.
Well, he's White Tiger, yeah. That'll be interesting once he's integrated into the story.
Yeah.
We also have Punisher coming in at some point. I thought for sure we were going to see Punisher at the end of this.
I thought
the
so
second
too.
episode.
I did.
But I wonder if he's not really going to be in it much.
There's 9 episodes.
He probably will. He'll probably be in the 3rd episode.
I think so.
Because of the cops with the Punisher thing, so they probably have quite a bit planned for him and stuff. So
I think so.
I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we kind of.
I have 2 things. I have one that I think would be good to finish off if you're all right with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, for one, we had the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Most irrelevant Oscars. I think it had the 3rd worst ratings in Oscars history, in the however many decades of years it's been.
Well, yeah, it keeps getting worse and worse every year.
Yeah, I think they had a peak when Will Smith went up and punched or slapped Chris Rock. That was their most highly rated one in a while. But since then it's just gone downhill. It became more and more clear how irrelevant Hollywood is and how out of touch they are with reality and with the rest of the country. You have all these rich people. You have Selena Gomez, who is just crying about Mexicans getting deported while she shows up to the Oscars with $1 million necklace. Yep, go home, go away.
Yeah, she's like, I wish I could do something, but I can't.
She has a mansion with multiple rooms. Whatever. Okay. Sorry. But and of course the winner of the Oscars was Anora, or I don't even know.
Yeah,
which was a porno.
Is that A24?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Oh, okay. It seemed like it would have been.
It might have been, but no, I don't know.
I don't know.
Either way, it won Best Picture. It had 4 Oscars. I think it won 4 Oscars.
Well, I think so. I was looking. I think the last 3 all had major amounts of nudity in them.
I'm not surprised.
The last 3 winners of Best Pictures.
Okay,
and it's this is people are getting sick of it.
Yeah, and the producer and then the actress go up and say I'm doing this for the sex worker community. I stand by them. I stand for them. I was so happy to be able to work with all these sex workers during this movie to get ready for this movie and everything. It's oh, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's just the glorification
So
of sexual immorality and the generation the degrading of women, and it's just disgusting. It's awful. And Hollywood celebrates it. They all celebrate it. They rejoice over it, over this woman who got naked in front of a bunch of perverts and films this movie where she's a stripper who was, I don't know, gets married to this Russian oligarch's son, and I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it's a movie about a stripper.
It is, yeah.
That's all I know. Yeah.
So there's that, and then and of course it wins most Oscars. It's funny, I think.
Yeah.
Out of all the Oscar winners, I'd only seen 2 of the films. There's like 12 winners, I think, and I'd only seen 2 of them.
I know.
Stupid.
It's crazy.
Dune 2 won a couple. I was happy about that, but
which one?
Dune 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was visual effects, right? And
I think so. Sound?
I can't remember what the other one was.
I think it was sound.
Maybe.
And then also, of course, the tranny movie Lost. I think they won one. They won one of their 13 nominations. So,
so dumb.
It's wild.
All right, what was your last thing?
Last one. Snow White is coming up. I don't even know, a couple weeks, but it.
That just keeps looking worse and worse.
It keeps looking worse, and the projections for box office are pretty bad, like worse than Brave New World. Which Brave New World, we've said I predicted about 350 to 400 million. It looks like it's probably going to hit 400 million, but stop right about there. Like that's it. It's lost a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
This one's projected to do worse, Snow White, which is really bad for Disney, because this is they're pulling out all their guns for this one. They want this one to be a big hit, but it's not going to. And so we got the song list, and of course, I don't know, no one should be surprised at this, but Someday My Prince Will Come is not in the movie. So the song where, of course, Snow White's singing about her prince coming to rescue her and so forth, that's replaced by the Waiting on a Wish or whatever. Because, as we said before, this movie is going to be the anti-gospel. It is the girl does not need the prince to come and rescue her, to lay down his life. The prince will not come to lay down his life to save the princess. No, the princess will find the will within herself. We as Christians find the will within ourselves to save ourselves, to pick ourselves up, because we don't need no savior. She don't need no prince. It's the original Snow White is the gospel story. It is a prince coming to save the princess, to slay the dragon and get the girl. She's gonna slay the dragon. She's gonna slay Gal Gadot. She's going to rescue herself. The prince, I don't even know what role the prince is going to play in this, but he's probably going to be a baffling idiot, and I'd be surprised by that.
For sure.
I am honestly looking forward to this, to see its complete downfall and ruin. It's going to be entertaining, to say the least. I'm curious to see what direction they do go with the story after all the backlash. But they keep harkening back to the original, like in all the promotion. Like, remember this movie that you all loved? Remember this beloved movie?
They're showing the Seven Dwarfs as much as they can, and like in the home, and like that's all they're showing, even though they all look horrible and terrifying.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch a movie about the uglier version of Lord Farquaad for 2 hours, watch this movie.
And become full circle with Shrek.
Yeah.
I don't. She. It just bugs it. I don't know. Disney. I think that's the thing about Daredevil is like I'm just over. I'm over Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm over Star Wars. I'm over anything Disney does. It's just I see through it now. I don't think that they are capable. I mean, because they live in God's world, they are capable of telling good stories, and they do occasionally tell good stories, but for the most part, they can't. And because they
it's been a long time since they have. So.
Yeah, it has, and
really long time.
It's just funny to see. This is the 100th anniversary of Disney, or last year was. But this is the first big movie after their 100. Well, okay, Moana 2, I guess, was and whatnot, but this is the culmination of 100 years of Disney. This is Snow White, the first animated film that Walt Disney created and made. That just like with George Lucas in the first Star Wars movie, a lot of people said he couldn't do it, said it wouldn't succeed, said it was going to be a failure. They didn't understand what he was doing, why he was doing what he was doing, but he stuck. He wanted to tell this story. He did, and it's one of the most beloved movies of all time. And now 100 years later, Disney is remaking it live action, and they are flipping the story upside down and telling an anti-gospel story. They're telling that a story for this generation, of course, because this is what all the women want, and the story, they don't want no prince anymore to save them, even though they need a prince to save them, and they just don't know it, and they refuse to believe it, and they're suppressing it. And but the story is just it's poetic, it's prophetic, I guess, and showing this is where we are with storytelling 100 years later, and it's sad.
Yeah.
But
that's actually pretty bad.
It is.
100 years later, what are the big movies coming out? It's a horrible remake of a classic.
Yep, exactly.
It's not even
that's
something
a culmination
original.
of the last 2 decades of movies, all these remakes, all these sequels, all these this unoriginal content, and all they can do is pull from what's old and make garbage out of what has been beloved in the past. They can't make it, and they can't move forward. Live in the past, unable to move forward, keep telling awful stories. So there's that.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, one little thing. I don't know if you saw Keanu Reeves did an interview and someone asked him about John Wick 5 and say, "Are you going to do a John Wick 5?" And for once, a celebrity actually said something logical, and he said, "Dude, John Wick's dead." No, I'm not. He's dead. It's like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
great.
We don't need another John Wick. He's dead. Let the character rest. Don't bring him back to life. Don't make a remake. Of course, they're doing the ballerina, but whatever.
Yeah.
Which Keanu Reeves is in. But.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've
seen
the trailer.
Prequel?
It's a prequel, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in it briefly. But.
Yeah. Nice. Well, you want to close this out?
Sure. This has been a fun episode. Thank you guys for sticking around and listening, and hope you all enjoyed it, and it was fun. And please like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube. Please give us a 5-star review on all the podcasts. Please support us on Patreon, / the Powell Bros. We got all kinds of content over there, a lot of mini reviews, and
follow us on X, and you can
early access to our
live.
chronicles and movie reviews. So please support us and follow us on X. Yes, follow us on X. We'll be doing spaces hopefully every week and be able to get it, or actually you will get early access to this show. So there you go. But thank you all. I'm Trent, and I'm and my co-host is Tobiah, and we are out.
Yep,
please
we're out.
Go and watch good movies and glorify God. I got that backwards. Still do those things.
Yep.
We're out.
All right. Bye.
Bye.